up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're Drive-in Theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is 8 o'clock Monday night, June 21st, 2021, and this is the Drive-in Speakerbox. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, the Boom Operator.
And I'm the Grip.
And I'm over here pushing buttons because the producer is not in the studio tonight, so I'm just gonna, let me lean over here and do this, and all right, here we go. Let me scoot my chair over and get in the camera because we're doing it live. If you're just subscribing to the podcast on Spotify or wherever you get podcasts, thanks for joining us. And I'm sorry that this is confusing, but I've been listening to. I drove to Little Rock the other day, and in the car. I mean, that's like a 3-hour drive, and 3 hours back. And I was in the car, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start. I'm just like vortex on some podcasts. The podcasts you guys listen to are so bad. Like, I can't believe some of these podcasts and how popular they are. And the audio quality's bad. And it's just guys sitting around talking about, like, I'm so high right now. Check out my wiener. Dick jokes and farts and poops. And
just guys sitting around talking about nonsense, huh?
I know. Like, what are we doing? How come we're not super popular yet? Anyway, I don't know. It was interesting to hear just a whole litany of podcasts that, who knows? Vince over in Twitch coming in with the comment saying he's starting to think that the producer has befallen the same fate as the storyboarder. Actually, the storyboarder's not dead. We didn't kill him. I didn't kill him. He's not buried in my backyard. Don't check my backyard.
Yeah, that's what you say, but we all know The Burbs is your favorite movie.
The bodies weren't in the backyard.
They were under the deck.
They were in the back of the trunk. And, you must have found one of my skulls, didn't you? That was, what was that? Henry, what was that guy's name? Henry something. He was in Laugh-In. He was really, really famous guy. But anyway, doesn't matter. The storyboarder, I actually saw him not too long ago. He came by Pinpoint, and he even mentioned how fun it was to have like this mythos of everybody thought that he had been brutally murdered or something, and but he wasn't. Anyway, no murders here. Producer just is out of town and busy on other projects, so he can't be here. Let's see what else is going on in the comments. McLean over here saying, "Less common denominator appeal, man. You guys are too smart." Well, thank you.
Too smart. Look at the big brains on us.
On this guy. And do you guys hear that hum? Do you hear that hum? I hear a hum.
Yeah, but I think it's nothing.
My sound guy senses are tingling. Speaking of sound guys, lots of cool projects going on here in Northwest Arkansas. A lot of things being shot, a lot of moving and shaking in the area, a lot of new movies just everywhere. Everybody I know that in the film industry is just talking about how many projects they're on right now. I've actually gotten a couple of calls going, "Hey, we need sound guys. Can you please be available again?" And I'm like, "Sorry, dudes, semi-retired." And they beg me, and they just beg, and it's just groveling's not a good look on some people. You know what I'm saying?
You'll never be asked again.
Never be asked again.
Because you said that on the podcast.
Yeah, it's not like they listen to it anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. I think that we're in for a couple of years of some awesome content, new cool movies coming out over the next couple of years. I think that we're going to see like a weird renaissance of cool new movies. Indie movies, anyway, are going to start showing up, I think, because everybody was taking the world into their own hands with the pandemic and movie theaters starting to open.
Now take your word in my hands. I fight for you right now. Make my stand. Is that what we're doing? We're doing some Highlander?
I like how you're the one singing tonight.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Not
dude,
me.
We're talking Highlander now.
Vince coming in with the comments. Henry Gibson, yes, Henry Gibson. He was in Laughing. He was the guy that would go, very interesting, when it was like okay to dress as a Nazi and do Nazi comedy, which I mean he wasn't. Context, you gotta. He wasn't being like, oh, you'll know the Jews. No, he was just a guy as a Nazi, and he was doing. He was the butt of all the jokes, but he was because he had the little glasses and he was a little tiny guy, and
he was Das Butt.
Is that a real character?
No, dude.
Because that needs to be like he was the Das Butt of every joke.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen Das Boot, then watch that one. That was a really sad, like horrible, tragic, weird, claustrophobic submarine drama that's pretty awesome. Let's see what else we got. Hey, your mom says hi.
Yeah, how about that? My parents are
tuning in. They're from Salem Springs. Vince says, speaking of back to the movies, AMC's offering free popcorn if you buy one from 6:23 to 6:30. They're also with all of the internet, because I guess AMC classifies as a stonk, one of the meme stocks that everybody's been talking about lately. And on the, I mean, maybe you saw this because did you renew your A-list membership?
Oh yeah, dude. As soon as the theater opened back up, I got my A-list back in full force. Even though I haven't been going to the movies, so AMC's just getting my money for nothing.
Gotta go to the movies. Okay, now my mom's in the comments saying she's gonna get one up, so she's watching too. So shout outs to both of our parents. Like, this is
nice. Hey, it's good to have fans.
It was Father's Day, so both of our moms are watching for some reason. I don't know.
My parents are like a joint account. They got the thing going on.
Yeah.
No,
but AMC.
My A list has been going strong since they reopened. But the bad thing is there hasn't been any movies to really use my A list for. I watched Mortal Kombat and. What else did I watch at AMC? There's not that many. Did
you watch the Hitman's Wife Bodyguard in AMC?
I didn't because they still only do showings ending at like 6:30 or 7.
This is true. Well, what I was getting to is on my A-List app, they were like, if you're an AMC shareholder, because like everybody is a shareholder now buying stocks at AMC, they're like special deals for you. And I was like, rad, because I've
does A-List make me a shareholder?
No, you gotta go. Well, now AMC stock is like actually up there. I remember when I was buying it at $1.50 a share, and people were like, movie theaters are gonna go out of business forever. And now it's like $60-something a share, and I'm just like, rich boy popping. Although I'm probably going to hold on to it too long, and it'll go back to $1, and I'll be like, it was fun pretending to be rich. But yeah, they're going to start offering specials and deals and free popcorns, and okay. Here's the other thing about A-List that I just don't like. And AMC, I'm talking to you. Hashtag AMC listens or cares or whatever they're at is. You need to figure out a way through staff training or customer service to not make me feel like such an asshole when I try to use my A-List perks.
Hey, yeah, let me get in front of those buttholes that don't pay for it. All right, the plebes are in their plebe line, and I'm in I pay money line, and they make me take turns. I don't pay you $25 a month. Take turns with plebes. I'm there to watch the movies. Give me my snacks. I'm gonna buy some stonks, and I'm gonna put I own stonks, and my vote counts.
That's right. We're stakeholders, and I mean, but that's the thing, and I'm glad that you have experienced it as well. It's like you get into the A-List line that you pay.
Golden line.
You're just
I got my app ready.
Yeah, app ready.
Like, hey.
And then you're standing in line, and some butthead over the next to you's like, who's this freaking guy? I'm like, well, I'm the premium line guy. Like, that's who I am. Like, step off, bro. And then the thing is, AMC, is your employees don't get my back.
No, not at all.
You gotta get my back.
Not even
They're just
a little
like,
bit.
This guy seems like a butthole, so continue to wait, A-List guy. And I'm like, don't turn me into a butthole.
Some booger lip douche nozzle the other day just walked right on up after some plebe, and they just got to go 2 in a row, and the guy running the concession stand was like, sorry, dude that pays too much money to never go to the movies.
Yeah.
Upsetting.
And then, everybody hates you.
I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to be somebody like for pretend at the movies.
Yeah, dude.
And I don't even get to.
The yellow carpet,
they can be not plebes and
Well, and I'm gonna say this as well about our AMC. Our AMC was like on top of its stuff for a while and was taking over the market share locally. They had the good seats, they had the bar, the concessions were starting to get stepped up. It was looking good, it was feeling right. But then the pandemic hit and everything got stale. Our Malco kept chugging along. They're like, nah, we're gonna keep our service up here. And then I went into AMC the other day. They're like Coke Infinity machine or whatever. It's like, how many 3 billion flavors do you want to hate until you just go back to Coke Zero like a normal person? And it was not bricksed correctly. And I went over to the manager and I was like, excuse me, sir, your Coke machine tastes terrible. You might want to see about having it bricksed. And he just like looks at me and I was like, well, I work in a place that has soda guns as well. I know, you need to. He's like, it's all automated. I was like, yeah, I'm sure it is, but even automated things need to tune up when they've been closed for 7 months.
Didn't you complain about it last time you were there?
Yes, because I went back another time and it still wasn't bricks, and I was like, hey, dude, again, just gonna let you know, blah blah blah. And then I went back again not too long ago for another film. And I went up to the concession stand and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to get a drink because it's like $10 to like hate it. And I was like, is the bar open? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, you work here. I don't. What can we do? Yes, no, maybe, question mark, circle one. And they like went, do we have anybody that's 21 that works here? Can I go over to the bar?
19.
So they went over to the bar and he's like, hello, sir, what can I get you? And I'm like looking at the menu, and the menu has like all these wonderful things, and it's like, check out a Black Widow cocktail and all these cool things and an Avengers Infinity shot. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'll have a cocktail. And he goes, sorry, we're not making cocktails at this time. And I was like, okay. And I looked and the frozen machines were down. I was like, okay, I guess I'll have a beer. Can I get what beer would you like, sir? And I'm like looking at this list of like 20-something beers. I was like, oh man, well, how about this beer? I don't want to list product names. And he's like, I think we're out of that. And I was like, okay, how about this beer? And he goes, let me check. And there's like flies buzzing around and like all the taps are down. I was like, oh God, this doesn't seem. He comes back and goes, we don't have that either. And I go, well, what about this beer? And he goes, hang on, let me check. And he goes back. He goes, we don't have that either. And I go, you know what? There's 20 things here. Tell me what you do have. And he's like, we have Bud Light. I was like, why didn't you start with that, dude? And so I was like, never mind. And then I just choked my peanut M&Ms down dryly through the movie. And I went back this week and they got the Coke machine fixed. So it's all.
Choking your peanuts dry.
Excuse me?
That's what you said.
Peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Peanuts M&Ms.
Choking your peanuts dry. Well, hey, you know what though? This week is the time to go back to the movies.
To the
movies.
Vince says Bo spends easily more in movie food in one day than I have in a lifetime.
Yeah,
actually,
straight up.
We don't use our Instagram much. I want to change that, and I'm looking at you, Sam. But if you go to our Instagram, I think it's just the Drive-in Speakerbox. There's a picture of me holding like 19 AMC snack boxes at the theater because I was just like, yo, let's just feast.
I've been there for that. You know what, too? One thing about that A-list is you rack up a ton of points. So even if you don't watch movies, you are gaining points still. So next time you go to the movies, you get some snacks.
I think that was a Christmas movie. I went with my family, I remember, and I had all of these AMC points. I was like, I'm using them all.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to ask them, you're like, yo, how many points? And they're like, oh, you do. You have like $5,000 in AMC points. I'm like, cool. I'll have that large candy and that Coke. And like, well, you only owe 20 cents now.
That's it. Like, I'm cashing them in. I'm cashing them all in.
Yeah, this week's the week.
Our time.
Back
it's
to the
time
movies. We got Fast and Furious.
I was trying. I was trying real hard to not get into Fast and Furious.
We have to because on the way here, I drove by our local drive-in, and guess what their sign said? The Fast Saga. That's it. They're showing all of them, every one of them. It's just a day at the drive-in, 4 days in a row, nothing but Fast and Furious. And I checked their Facebook. Guess what they're showing after the Fast Saga every night? Smokey and the Bandit.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are too.
It's just Fast 1 and Smokey and the Bandit. Fast 2 and Smokey and the Bandit.
Dog, get pumped with me.
I mean, wait, F9, the Fast Saga, rated PG-13. Is F9 the Fast Saga?
I don't know. Disregard that. It just says the Fast Saga on the thing, and I'm pretending like it's every movie.
Oh, my
It's
God.
gonna be sick.
I will say that comboed with Smokey and the Bandit is pretty hilarious. I think that they should have comboed it with the one where Han died. What is that, 3?
Yeah, Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
They should have been like, here's the one where he's resurrected, and then here's the one that he died. And, yeah, I don't know. I think that's how they should do it.
Well, you can't put Tokyo Drift at the movie theater because then, or at the drive-in, it's just nothing but gravel being spewed everywhere.
I'm surprised that's not it anyway. That when
Well,
they
Smokey and the Bandit, it probably will be.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm mad hyped. And there's the car meet at the movie theater for Fast and Furious.
Which movie theater? Malco?
Yeah. I'm going to have my underglow ready. I'm going to have my car
Wait, you have
detailed.
Underglow now?
Yeah, dog.
I mean, if after the show, can I see it? Is it installed yet?
It's not installed yet. It's going to happen this week.
You got 5
Till
days.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better fast and furiously install that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What color is it? Blue?
Any color I want, dude.
But I mean, what color are you going to put on?
Pink.
For real?
Yeah.
And then you're going to blast like that Aerosmith song?
No.
Pink
Nah, dude.
which just like gives me really weird memories of Rockin' Bowl.
Or them blasting that at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards for
And
a
it was
bunch of children.
It was
that
no kid's choice.
don't
no.
know. Yeah.
No. I think. I mean, are you not? Why not blue? I mean, you got the blue car, the blue underglow, the blue on blue.
No, the blue and pink, man. It's a perfect combo. Subaru. It's gonna be sick.
So you'd say you have 2 on the pink. All right. Anyway,
Back to the movies.
back to the
everybody.
movies.
Yeah.
In the news, I know we've got a lot of movies to review, so we're going to keep the news pretty short. I wanted to talk about this one because I'm kind of heartbroken about it. If you watched the show before, you know I'm kind of a Richard Linklater fan, and one of his series that is pretty famous is the Before series. It's these movies have come out. There's 3 of them, and they come out 9 years apart, and it's it's all about the passage of time, and Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke, they've been it's about this couple that meets and revisits each other, and over the course of these 9 years, and they revisit. Well, 2022 was the next scheduled kind of like, if they're going to do another one, it has to come out in 2022, and Richard Linklater was wanting to do that, but Julie Delpy was like, nah, dude, I'm so done with Hollywood. I'm so done with show business. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And she was one of the co-writers and one of the co-stars of it. And she's just like, she's just so jaded with Hollywood right now that she is kind of walking away from this project, which is kind of sad because, this is a really interesting sort of experiment in film where I can't think of any other movie that has multiple sequels that take place almost 10 years apart from each other intentionally. And isn't trying to be like, well, here's my son or daughter carrying the legacy and blah, 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 and CGI in my face and still doing the same stuff. This is just like what happens to these people over the past 9 years, and they reconnect. And if you've never seen these movies, they're quite good. I mean, they're not like the great happy movies. The first one's kind of like it's a romantic drama about missed connections and stuff, but it's these 2 people that continue to have intersections in life. But man, I can't believe that it's already almost been 9 years since the last one, and I'm gonna have to rewatch them. What?
I'm getting really tickled that McClane said he retracts his too smart comment now.
After the Fast and the Furious stuff?
Yeah, after us talking. Yeah.
Yeah, Too Smart and Too Serious is the name of this show. Let's see. Yeah, Sam just said just CGI Tig in it. It worked for Army of the Dead. Vince says it's sad that it's ending, but Midnight was a good one to end on. I agree. I think that one actually had a pretty solid ending. But man, it'd been really cool to see where else it would go. I mean, it's an interesting story. Sam says, kind of sounds like Love Me If You Dare. There's another one. Oh, who did that movie? It's called In the Mood for Love. I think it's a pretty awesome, I want to say, Korean director. I can't remember who directed that one, but it's really good. Anyway, I wanted to mention that. Lots of other stuff going on, mostly Disney related and DC related. I mean, everybody's talking about The Flash. There was some production stills leaked that showed the OG Batman. Yeah.
What? I didn't know about this.
What? You didn't know about this?
No, last I saw anything about The Flash was they're like, oh, it looks like Grant Gustin's going to be in it. It's like, well, sure, because
I'm trying to see if
Dingus from the movies was in the TV one.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. Anyway, I'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a picture of Michael Keaton kind of on set, not as Batman, but Bruce Wayne in it up.
And hey man, that new movie.
Wong Kar Wai.
That new movie with Maggie Q and Sam Jackson that has old Michael Keaton being a bad guy in it. He's doing some action and stunts and pretty spry still. So, yeah, Michael Keaton can be a super kick-ass Batman.
Dude, if we can just get Michael Keaton in Batman Beyond, that's what I want.
You, he's not the right guy to play Batman Beyond.
He has played so many angry people up until now.
Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne is like super old.
Well,
he needs to be Clint Eastwood.
You can old up Michael Keaton pretty. I mean, have you seen him recently?
Yeah, he's in that new movie with Maggie Q.
He's getting kind of old.
The Protege, that's what that movie's called. Looks good.
Thanks to Bottle Rocket and Vince over there. Wong Kar Wai, or Kar Wai Wong, however you want to pronounce the formalities of. I've always been a Wong Kar Wai guy, but yeah, In the Mood for Love, great movie if you've never seen it. What else? The Shazam stuff. People talking about Black Adam. Did you see? It's Pierce Brosnan's going to be doing, and I was reading about this because he's going to be coming in as Dr. Fate.
What?
Yeah, which is
that's sick. James Bond is Dr. Fate.
I mean that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
But his whole costume is going to be motion capture, which means it's just all CGI.
Oh, it's going to be like Green Lantern.
Probably so. Well, I mean, he is a dude that just constantly flies.
Yeah, but so is Dr. Fate just going to be a side character in a Shazam movie?
Probably so. I mean, I think he's going to come in. I mean, Dr. Fate's one of those dudes that just comes in and is like, well, problem solved. And, he's pretty...
They made a friggin' Doctor Strange movie. They can make a Dr. Fate movie.
I think a Dr. Fate movie would be pretty badass, where it's like the crazy evil helmet.
Maybe that's why they're not doing it, because they're like, oh, people just think it's like Doctor Strange.
I mean,
but it would be way
kind
cooler.
of.
Yeah, but you'd have his like tower and the dimensions. I guess they're doing that with Doctor Strange.
With Doctor Strange. And Sam Raimi's directing, which has actually got me kind of interested about it. And
Dr. Fate?
No, the new Doctor Strange movie and the Infinite Perils of whatever it's called.
Can we get some Bully Maguire in it?
Well, here's the thing.
Bully Maguire's my favorite thing on the internet, right?
Sam Raimi, they've been talking about how he's leaning back into his horror roots for this new Doctor Strange movie, which I like me some Sam Raimi horror. I know you even like Sam Raimi horror. I mean, come on, dude. Army of Darkness, Evil Dead. You didn't like Drag Me to Hell, I don't think. That one was pretty the crazy crazy
really,
witch lady.
Not really for me, but Army of Darkness more my speed.
Like the staple gun and the oogie booger eyeball grony yucky witch lady.
Not really for me.
Justin Long, who was just in town.
Yeah,
not too long
definitely.
Ago.
Army of Darkness is right my speed.
Sam says he wants an OG Sandman. we're getting. I thought we were getting a Sandman show on Netflix, a Neil Gaiman Sandman. I don't think it's going to be any good. I mean, they did the audio book that I haven't finished, but is super cool. Amazing voice cast for that one that Neil Gaiman put together. I assume that's what you're talking about is the Neil Gaiman Sandman and not like Spider-Man Sandman, who sucks. And he was played by the guy in Wings. We were just talking about him the other day. And let's see. What else is going on in the comments there? Bottle Rocket says, supposed to be Marvel's first go at horror. We'll see.
Oh,
we'll
well,
see.
They did the New Mutants movie. They made it as horror.
And I think that Marvel knows their audience, and I think Marvel's not going to try and spook out their audience and creep them out.
Yeah,
because their audience are idiot children.
New Mutants was horror, and what was the show on FX about arcade? Took place in like the 70s or something.
Oh, you're talking about Legion?
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, Legion, not arcade. It was Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Legion was kind of thriller-y, horror-y sometimes.
It was a psychological thriller.
Yeah, see, so they've done it. They've already done it.
But not on the big screen when box offices depend on it. Yeah, man. Well, the box office showed what happened when they did that.
COVID happened for that one, but yeah, still.
Okay, well, we need to stop talking about news. We need to start reviewing movies because we watched a lot of movies. Let's just start with Fatherhood. You watched that one.
I did, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see that one. So
I watched Fatherhood, the new Netflix movie with old
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart in it, one of your favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But it is strictly drama. Man, it's nothing but strong emotion coming at you hard.
Father's Day, single dad energy.
Yeah, and man, it's a good movie. It'd make you feel feels.
Great review. All right,
Real
man.
hard.
Moving. No.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say besides that. Really, actually, now that you brought it up,
Did you cry?
Yeah, hell yeah. A lot more than what I thought I was going to, for sure. Didn't think I was going to, and then all the time I was like, "Oh, there's tears coming out my face."
Was it kind of like that Will Smith one where that just the two of us?
Oh, the one where that was based on a true story. That one,
you and I,
where he's selling the typewriters and he becomes like a big time business.
Dude,
guy.
typewriters are heavy too.
Yeah. No, kind of like that movie. Yeah, a little bit, except. Kevin Hart was his character plays someone that has a lot of money and flexibility and free time, because movies always work better when your characters don't have to be at regular jobs, like
especially
normal
like
people.
Romantic comedies. That's one of the reasons I just cannot watch them. It's just like, here's a story of they both live in New York and they both like are always going to the coffee shop and driving their convertible and always finding a parking space.
Yeah, that's how.
And they never have to work. And
that's how this was. He plays like a tech consultant or something like that, and he's super good at his job. And the one time they get close to firing him because he's tired and he's sleeping on the job and he can't make it work as a single dad, the people that he ruined the presentation in front of are like, "Hey, good job being a single dad. You killed it. We love your presentation." And he's like, "Oh, sick because I'm getting fired right now." He's like, "Oh, no, I'm not." Which Paul Reiser plays his boss.
Oh, Paul Reiser's the perfect boss.
Yeah. Paul Reiser's.
I mean, he's been playing a sleazy corporate man since what, like?
No, but he's like a cool
ever?
dude. He's like a cool dude in this one. Everyone was cool except for.
He wasn't like Paul Reiser in Aliens, where he's just
No.
like, "Oh no, man, we just trust in the company."
So Alfre Woodard actually plays the person that's like not cool because she's the mother of the mom that died post C-section. Because that's the whole thing. The mom dies from a complication, a blood clot or whatever, and you get the story from flashbacks at the wake and them telling stories, but then it comes together and you see two different periods in the life of the child, being a newborn and then being like a 5 or 6 year old or whatever, and it's a pretty touching and moving movie if you get past the fact that he's just a rich guy that has a lot of luck and gets by with skirting by and breaking the rules and really fucking off on his job, and but they let him do it, and that makes it where he gets to be a great dad. So if you're
not any of those things, then
the movie wouldn't work otherwise. So and not putting the
sucks
thought
to suck, all you single dads out
not
there.
Not putting the thought into it like that. But I mean, they kind of, it's like both of the grandmothers live in the same town, several states away, and they're like, well, just let us raise the girl and stuff. He's like, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, it'd be better. And he's like, no, I'm not, because I'm able to make it work because of my career's flexibility and the money that they offer me. And life is actually fairly easy. So getting past that part, it really is a good movie. And it's full of emotions. It's not a bad thing to watch on Netflix. Easily accessible. They did good with it, and I think it really worked out pretty well.
Well, I checked out, I didn't intend on reviewing this at all, but I'll just give it a little blurby. I watched on Netflix the new Bo Burnham special, Inside, and it was great. Oh my God. If you guys have not seen this, Bo Burnham is, I think if he doesn't kill himself by age 45, then he's going to be one of the next great, American musical playwrights, comedy playwrights, because this dude is just phenomenal at what he does. And his special that he did is he shot it entirely over the course of, a year during COVID, kind of stuck in his house when he just ordered things on the internet, which I guess when you're Bo Burnham, people are like, hey, can I borrow camera gear? And they send it to him. And he has all this stuff, but he did everything. He lit everything. He wrote everything. He edited everything, just all doing it himself. And in this one room in his apartment. And it's pretty incredible, to be honest with you. To see that amount of creativity come out of just one person's head is pretty amazing. I mean, obviously there was a lot of post work done that was not done by Bo Burnham. I think that there's and that's something that comes with this industry when people are like, I just did it by myself. It's like, well, if you look at the credits, he sent it to a post house to do audio mixing, and then there's a color correctionist, and then a post editing, and there's a lot of post that goes into these projects, but that does not diminish the incredible feat. Don't watch this if you're prone to just bouts of depressive sadness and crying, because it'll throw you there, because you're like, oh, comedy, I can watch a comedy, and then you're just like, oh, existential dread, yay. But there's some really good songs, really good content, and Vince says, I heard it was kind of too long, but he did that on purpose to try and evoke how long COVID felt. Honestly, I there was only one little part where it kind of felt like it could have stopped there, but I think it was fine. I think it was done intentionally, and there was a lot of stuff that he probably could have kept going, could have made it longer, and addressing certain things. But he has a very interesting voice for his comedy, and I don't normally like musical-based comedy, but he just knocks it out of the freaking park. So if you haven't watched Inside, highly recommend that one. And you watched on Disney Plus.
More streaming.
Disney Plus.
On Disney, their new Disney Plus original, which was not part of their have-to-pay premium.
It was just free?
Well, not free. You got to pay for the Disney Plus subscription. But Luca, the new tale of the not quite mermaids, more of like creatures from the Black Lagoon, but friendly.
Okay.
A tale of sea creatures off of an Italian coast that magically become people once they dry off, the water dries off.
But if they get hit with like a drop of water, it's like fish.
Yeah, if they get hit with water, they become fish monster again. But it's like this story of basically The Little Mermaid, kind of. There's a boy down there. He wonders about what's up there. He sees some things, and but it's a lot more rapid than that, because
they want to be part of
that
world.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, but there's another kid that comes along and scoops him up and forces him to kind of go outside of his comfort zone, explore the surface, and see what's
that
out.
one friend.
Yeah,
right?
see what's out in the world, because, of course, he's parentless. He lives on his own, and he's a hooligan. So
underwater.
No, above the water.
Okay.
Yeah. And
He's Aladdin.
He brings the kid from below the water, above the water, but they're both mermaid boys.
So there's a mermaid boy that's been living on the above the water the whole time as Aladdin.
No, he likes to live up there. He prefers that because
Okay.
he has like a bunch of stuff and fun things.
He's a rapscallion.
Yeah. But anyhow, they end up going to the town across the way from the boys' tower, and they get enraptured in everything that's going on in town. They meet all the other kids. They find out things about the world, and they both kind of find out that they thought they were like the same person, basically. Everything was the coolest to them. They were just boys having fun, and then they kind of develop into their own people, all the while trying to hide that they're little mermaids, because the town is a town that lives on legends of killing sea monsters and all,
mermaid people.
Yeah, well, it's a fishing town, and their whole thing is like myths of sea monsters.
So now it's Kill the Beast. So it's a little bit Aladdin, a little bit Little Mermaid, a little bit Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
okay.
in a way. And it ends in the kids are having to compete in a triathlon while hiding the fact that they're sea monsters. Yeah, they look a lot like sea monkeys. Yeah, basically.
What if those just like flash frozen like brine shrimp?
Yeah, but the animated, the drawn out character of
Well, yeah, with the little like weird nodes but I mean, can you still get sea monkeys, or did like PETA put their foot down on sea monkeys?
I don't know.
Because you get the little castle and the little bag of like freeze dried organisms, which if you think about it, how like completely screwed up this concept
feed
is.
them peanut butter like in Magellan's Castle.
Did you feed sea monkeys peanut butter?
No, dude, I said like in Magellan's Castle.
But I mean, did they do that in Magellan's Castle?
The sea monkeys loved peanut butter sandwich.
Did you ever? You can't feed a whole peanut butter sandwich to a sea monkey. If a sea monkey
the ones in Magellan's Castle.
Well, that's not real.
It's a kid's show, of course.
Yeah, but the sea monkeys, they came in a little castle and they had the little magnifying bubbles on it. So when like the brine shrimp would like kind of swim around, you could be like, look, that's a creature that I created from this pouch, and I'm gonna flush down the toilet when I feel Thanos-y enough for it. And
no,
sea
nothing
monkeys,
like that. Nothing like that.
Vince says you can still buy them on Amazon Prime. Perfect for Prime Day.
Hey, there you go.
So get your sea monkeys today.
But talking about
Brought
things
to you by
that are a little too long, it's one of those movies that it probably could have been a short in front of a
Pixar short
movie or something. Maybe one of those like the length of that Frozen short that you had to watch before the Grandma Murder movie.
Oh, yeah.
One of the two Grandma Murder movies.
The
Dia de los Muertos Grandma Murder movie, which makes you cry harder
Remember me.
Yeah, that makes you cry harder than Fatherhood. It could have been about that length. It had no need to be the length of the movie it was. It did kind of drag along, and some of it's repetitive. And it's a story that could have easily been told, but it's not bad. It's enjoyable. It's worth a watch. It's just about the same as any other Disney or Pixar movie. There's nothing new or special there, just some accents and the setting changes. But it's a pretty nice little story of personal growth and adventure. So for kids.
Does everybody like see them for their mermaid selves and then accept them?
Okay, well, spoiler alert. Here we go, guy. Yeah, that's exactly how the movie ends.
Well, duh.
Yeah, it starts to rain during the big bike race, and everyone sees that the hooligan boy, he gets wet because he's bringing an umbrella to safeguard the other guy so that no one will know that he's a sea monster, because one or two people found out that the hooligan boy is, and they ran him out of town. So he's running with an umbrella, and he trips, and it flies out of his hand.
And he goes,
and he's exposed in front of the whole town. So then the other boy's like, you know what, screw that. And he goes to save the other one because they're going to harpoon him.
He bloops.
And he turns into a fish boy. And then they win the race, and the whole town's like, well, they won.
I guess if they won the race.
They won the race. But through their interactions with the town, there are people in the town that are
like, I know those kids.
Yeah,
those are good kids.
Yeah, I know them. They're good kids. We're not going to hurt them today. In fact, they're the champions, and we're going to accept them. And then it turns out there's other people in the town that were sea monsters the whole time, and they just let their freak flags fly, being sea monsters and all this stuff. And then the whole town becomes friends with the sea monsters.
And they're all sea monsters. Everybody's like, we were all actually in hiding. And then they look at like the one guy that came out as a sea monster, and they're like, we saw you kill other sea monsters, dude. And he's just like, yo. and then he
No.
runs out of town.
No, they all became friends, and it's a fun.
Because you
little
know that
thing.
would happen. You know how many sea people probably lived in that town and like totally were cool with other sea monsters getting killed as long as they didn't get exposed?
Yeah, the two
It's
old
dark.
ladies. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a couple old ladies. That's exactly how they
They're
are.
like, shut your mouth.
Yep. Because as long as they get to eat gelato, they don't care.
Hey, I feel that.
Hey, but you know what? Talking about movies that we saw, including Tuscany and Gelato and Italia.
It's just pushing buttons.
We watched a movie that
We
that has a gelato's a pivotal portion of the movie.
It was. We both watched the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is, of course, the sequel to the earlier film, The Hitman's Bodyguard. Same cast, bringing back. We've got all the returning players, but with like Frank Grillo for some reason. I don't know. Like his character was so completely stupid.
Which one was that?
Frank Grillo, he was the Boston.
Oh, he was the only
guy.
good character in the whole movie.
What are you talking
though.
about? The only good character? His character made no sense. He just comes in, he's like, shut up, butthole, and shut your stinky mouth.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why are you? I got to get back to Boston. I get to travel all over Europe for free in helicopters, but send me back to this shitty United States, like, terrible town.
Yeah, but I mean, he was there to make them have to do the team up and go on their mission and all that. I don't know. He was the only character I liked in the whole thing.
So Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, and everybody returning to this, adding a little bit of Antonio Banderas. But Selma Hayek was the kind of the centerpiece of this movie, for better or for worse. And I enjoy Selma Hayek. I think she's a very talented actress, but I think that this character, like, they tried to ham it up just way. There's an envelope or a dial that can go to 10, and sometimes only Spinal Tap can take it to 11, and she was taking it to like 13 or 14, and this, and it's like playing.
It's supposed to be her character, but it's.
I mean, it got so overdone to this, like, we get it, like, spicy Latina firecracker that just takes no shit, and that's cool, but, like, every scene she was like, motherfucker, and, like, just shooting guns and calling people names, MF, the MF count in this movie was so unbelievable. Like, with Samuel L. Jackson and Selma Hayek both saying MF every single sentence was just, and I cuss, I'm a cusser, but that was just and I like MF, a properly placed.
Man, I cuss.
I cuss. I say cuss words, man. They're great. But when you use them in every MF in sentence, then they just lose a little MF in value, if you know what I'm saying, you stupid MFers. Like, it just is not, it just feels wrong. And the movie would get a little exhausting with some of that. And Ryan Reynolds, like, him, like, abstaining from gun use the whole movie. Like, I felt like, okay, this is going to be a build-up to hopefully a really cool gun action scene in the end, because this movie, what it does deliver in some forms is some fun action scenes. There's some fun fights, there's some fun shootouts, there's some fun chases. I mean, it definitely delivers that kind of big screen, action jazz full of bad CGI and stuntman.
Yeah, I was about to say that the caveat to that is that you get to see every stuntman. So the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard's stuntman. You get to see a lot of that, and the blur for the blue screen, and some of that was a bit. It takes you out of the moment.
Or that one helicopter that just goes. Did you catch that helicopter on the bridge that just looked like they just clone stamped a helicopter across the screen? I was like, oh, man. But there were some good practical effects, some good explosions, some good, and regardless of whether or not we could clearly see that they were stunt doubles, there was some cool stunts. I mean, Samuel Jackson's 900 years old now, and then Morgan Freeman's 1,020, and like. I mean, the joke was it was impossibly hard to believe that Morgan Freeman could hurt anybody, and he was like this evil hitman guy.
Wow, dude, way to ruin it.
Who's going to watch this movie? and get surprised. Like, there was no twists.
I didn't know he was in it actually, and so when he showed up, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, it was kind of a funny reveal.
But then I saw they put him on all the posters, and I was like, well, that kind of ruins it. But I hadn't seen the poster. Just watched the dumbass movie. So.
But Sam said, he said a comment on Facebook. He said, "You idiots! You didn't capture them. You captured their stunt doubles." That actually
there's a Spaceballs moment in the movie
that was actually made me laugh. Like, for a movie to make me laugh out loud in the theater doesn't happen very often, especially in a movie like this. But there was a scene that scene they were like, we're gonna need this, and you two, and oh man, it was hilarious. And I mean, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson do have some chemistry. No matter what you say about the movie, they are funny to watch, like banter back and forth, because they're just two guys that are just fun to listen to. I mean, that's their whole brand is just guys that you'd probably want to sit down and have a drink with, and and that works to a point, but it doesn't carry the movie. Like, the whole plot of the movie is like Antonio Banderas is like this Greek weirdo named Aristotle Papadopoulos or whatever, and he just like wants to have a big diamond drill so he can drill into a box that will somehow shut down all of Europe if he puts a virus in it. Like, it's like really sad Bond villainy, like, this doesn't make any sense, but who cares sort of plot. And because I'm like, what this virus? And he goes, the virus, it's gonna shut down all of Europe. And they're like, what? How? The virus, what is it gonna shut down exactly? All of Europe. But how and why? And because I guess the guy was just like, because Greece. The drachma.
Yeah, it was basically all the stuff that Greece had, all their real life turmoil and riots and all that nonsense over there a couple years back. So
yeah, so I mean, apparently Gary Oldman was in it for like a hot second.
What?
That's what it say. I just pulled up the IMDb and I'm seeing Gary Oldman, and I don't remember that.
I didn't know. I didn't see Gary Oldman.
I think he was a background guy. Vladislav Duhovic.
I think it's one of those.
I think he was a background dude.
I think it's one of those things where it's like that meme where it's like the director calls cut. You wake up, you come to. You realize that you're Gary Oldman. That's how good of an actor he is. Yeah.
I think he's probably friends with these guys, and they're like, put me in the background somewhere, and that'll be a funny Easter egg. But, I mean, it follows all the standard action movie tropes, mini bosses, and I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to go figure it out.
I feel like he's one of the guys at the club scene.
Sam on Facebook said Gary Oldman was Morgan Freeman. And
dude, that would only make the most sense. Perfect.
Oh man, I wish the one of my old co-hosts, the Gaffer, he could do such a good Morgan Freeman impression, and I never could quite get my hands on it. But I wish he were here to do his Morgan Freeman. But being Gary Oldman as Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman. I think I need to practice a little bit more. Yeah. But one day I'll get it.
Andy never did ever have to put anything in his mouth.
Andy Dufresne never had to put anything in his mouth. I opened that lunchbox and then I knew. I'll get it. I just got to sit around at home in the mirror and just be like, Morgan Freeman. And the older he gets, like, the easier his voice is, because it's not quite as like baritone as it used to be. Because he used to be more like this, but now he's getting older. And talking about penguins. Penguins.
Now you're doing the
Happy Feet.
You're doing the
Disney.
The Doctor Strange thing. What's his name?
I don't know. What is his name?
Yeah, the Doctor Strange.
His name eludes me.
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
He can't pronounce penguins.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Penguins. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Stupid birds. Have you seen their mouths? They're terrifying. Let's see. Murray over on Facebook says, can Antonio enunciate any better than an interview with a vampire? Everyone expected Tom to ruin the movie. Antonio did. No, dude, Antonio was great. He was like, he's got the candle and he's like doing the thing, and everything he does slowly. Antonio Banderas, you're a vampire, a beautiful vampire. And it's like, you know, Antonio's been around long enough in this world to where I think he knows what he's doing. He's got an Antonio Banderas like cadence about himself. And he does in this one. It's like, there's no way you can make me think that you're a Greek guy. No way. And
that's true.
It's impossible.
He was like, I'm a Greek.
I am a Greek guy. Hello, I'm Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
And then having Selma Hayek and Antonio Banderas, there's like this moment where they're like, you remember us being in those movies? And which, I mean, El Mariachi's still the better version of that whole series. So, what?
You put mariachi in front of
Desperado? I might have. I
mean, you can put anything you want in front of Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That movie's not good.
No, it's not.
But
Desperado's just a remake of Mariachi.
Yeah, but it has Banderas.
And it still has the rocket launcher leg guy where he like swings that leg out.
Yeah, because they show up, the mariachi shows up, and where he throws it on his shoulder and he sticks
that leg out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sick pose.
What's in the guitar case? A guitar.
Yeah. No, Desperado's the one that has Banderas in it, bro.
I know. I mean,
He's
it
not
is pretty
in
good.
Mariachi.
No, he's not in Mariachi. I know.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying.
why Desperado's the good one.
Anyway, I really liked Interview with a Vampire. Is one of my favorite vampire movies, by the way. But
anyhow, the movie we're talking about.
Armand. He was the leader of the Parisian vampires, and they were all like into like the weird like theater sex cult, and then Brad Pitt was just like, I don't like you guys, and I don't like me either. I'm out of here. And then he sliced them all up, and dude, that was a good movie. Sam says Mask of Zorro was pretty good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie's not bad either.
No, it's not
I'm not
bad.
gonna say it's good.
It's not bad. It does exactly what it came to the door to do. It's an action comedy with two guys everybody likes being themselves and
Cartoon
shooting
violence.
guns.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, some of these action scenes, like, you know, you got an action movie with Morgan Freeman and Sam Jackson and Antonio Banderas. These dudes can probably barely walk without an ice pack. You know what I'm saying?
Sam Jackson's he's in that movie with Batman and Maggie Q coming out.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's doing all the action moves. It's
Antonio Banderas was in the friggin' what's that movie with all the old action stars in it?
Yeah, I know, but Liam Neeson is still in Taken movies.
Yeah, and hell yeah, Liam Neeson.
And need I remind you of the YouTube clip that like Liam Neeson jumping over a fence in 20 cuts? Like that's how it's done.
Yeah,
it's
but
movie magic.
That's not Liam Neeson. That's the movie. That's how action movies are made now.
That's because Liam Neeson can't jump over a fence.
I bet he can.
No.
You ever seen Darkman?
Yeah, he could then.
There we go.
Darkman rules.
Fuck you.
Darkman rules, dude.
He yells that at people.
He yells that all the time at people.
I want to be Darkman for Halloween and just be mean as hell to people.
So one time I dressed up as like the, you know, kind of the Lon Chaney style, I believe that was Lon Chaney style, Invisible Man with the bandages and the hat and the coat and all the stuff and the goggles. And nobody knew what I was. And everybody's like, hey, it's Mummy Guy, Detective Mummy. And I'm like, okay, Detective Mummy Guy, cool.
That's cool.
But one guy was like, oh, Darkman. I was like, well, you know, points for trying. You know, I'll give you Darkman. And I'm like, well, I kind of wish I was Darkman. And the gaffer once dressed intentionally as Darkman and it's not a hard costume.
I remember that.
Black trench coat, a lot of bandages, like puffy eyes and a hat, and then a bad attitude, which he nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see. Vince said someone called me John Cena. No, they didn't, because they clearly could see me. And so, I mean, speaking of John Cena, next week.
Oh, not next week. This Friday.
I know, but on next week's show.
Oh, on next week's show.
You're just going to be hiding your, like, movie boner the whole thing.
I'll probably watch it 2 or 3 times, really. I have so many people that want to see this movie, and I might have to watch it.
2 or 3 times.
Hell yeah. I got to go to the drive-in so I can watch Smokey and the Bandit and Fast and Furious. I'm going to the meet on Friday, and then I'm watching it in Atmos so I can have the full experience. And then I'm probably going to watch it at some other point.
Well, welcome back to the movies. I think that this, a lot of people have been asking me often about movie releases, and they're like, why aren't these movies coming out? Yada, yada, what's taking so long? And I'm like, Fast and Furious 9, man. That's what everybody's waiting for. It's the one movie that's going to be sort of the full-on toe in the water for Hollywood to say, are we bringing blockbusters back into the theaters? And they're very nervous about it. But Fast and Furious 9, if they can pack them in there, they'll be like, all right, well, I guess it's time. I guess it's time to release Top Gun and James Bond and Dune and like
other
Black
movies,
Widow and all these things that we've been holding in the chamber.
Well, other movies also, all of their studios are doing crazy things. Like James Bond, MGM is part of Amazon now. So that's been going through their bankruptcy phase and now their purchasing phase. And it had all the COVID things before that kept delaying it. Black Widows, because Disney has been reorganizing their release schedule to try and make sure that everything's out once they can make money off of it. Then, especially after Mulan happened, and they're like, oops, let's redo that. You have other studios that are all just trying to sort it out, see how it goes. So yeah, as these bigger ones come out, they see how they perform and then restructure their release schedule from there, because they have an excuse to completely do that right now.
Well, speaking of box office totals, like the last weekend, The Hitman's Wife, Bodyguard, of course, debuted at number 1, but it was not a huge opening. It was only a 11.3 million opening, which is not a super strong opening. A Quiet Place 2 came in its 4th week and still brought in 9 million at the box office. So, that's only being 2 million above the number 2 movie that's been out for 4 weeks. That's not a huge, strong opening. But I think that right now with COVID, movies are staying in theaters a little bit longer. People they're trying to milk them a little bit harder than they used to, because there's not as many movies hitting the theaters each week. So I don't know if that opening box office is going to be the same as it did for a while. I think Fast and the Furious is going to be a little different story. I think they're going to really see what this opening weekend is. But I honestly do believe that we're going to kind of return to an older box office style where it's not about just like churn and burn one weekend. You got this one weekend, get it out. We got movies next weekend. I don't think we're going to see that for a while. I think it's going to be more how it used to be, where a movie would hang out in the theaters for about a good month, maybe month and a half, and there was plenty of cool movies playing at the same time in the theater, instead of just this flavor of the week. So I actually kind of think that's an okay thing. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Well, then it gives me more time to see these movies instead of just crap. It probably means
there won't be as many small releases, though.
This is also true. Or more small releases, because they're not having to compete with all the big blockbusters coming out literally every freaking week. Wow. I don't know. But over in the comments, Vince says, next week, we're family. And Sam says he's going to be trying Corona for the first time during next week's show.
Yeah, you can pick.
We're going to bring some Coronas? We're going to bring some Coronas up here?
Corona. I guess we can, yeah.
We'll see about that. But anyway, that is our show. It's 9 o'clock. We got to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in as always. Like and subscribe over on the Facebook, the Twitch, or the YouTube if you want to get involved in the live stream, which we do every Monday night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And you can participate in the chat right here with everybody that we've been referencing throughout the podcast. If you're downloading the audio version of this podcast, again, we also thank you. Take us on the go wherever you subscribe to your podcasts. Spotify makes it easy. Oh, hey, shout out to Counter Example lurking over there in the background on Twitch. But yeah, man, we will see you guys next week. It'll be Fast and Furious 9. This guy's going to be jazzed. I'll be here.
I'm going to be like that surfer dude from the news. Oh, it's like, blah, blah. And it's like, blah, blah.
And then when we threw that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And then it's, pitted, so pitted.
And then the tires were like, squaw. Yeah, that's going to be you, man. Well, all right, guys. I'm the boom operator. I'm Bo. And we'll see you guys next week. And I got to walk over here and turn the buttons myself.
Not awkward.